Hello, I'm Brady McFadden, and today I'm going to be discussing the most important aspects of speech. To me, the most important aspects of speech is active listening. To be an active listener, you need to actively take in what the person you're talking with is saying and how they're saying it. Without that, you're not able to effectively understand, take in, or effectively reply to that person. I'm going to give you examples of how to actively listen and how you should not actively listen, and that the ways it can be bad. Today, I'll be using my visual aid. This is, for the sake of it, John. It's a bowling ball. I'm sure you can tell that. Well, John is my friend here, and he's been upset at me for kind of blowing him off, if you could say it that way. John came up to me and made it very apparent that I was blowing him off, and he felt very disheartened by it. And in an example of me not active listening, I had sat there and I told him that it's not that deep, and that stuff comes up and I was busy. That made John very upset. John wasn't very happy. John wasn't able to effectively get his point across. I wasn't able to effectively respond to him, making the conversation almost null and void. And in a way, John had ended up leaving the conversation more upset than he had previously, which is not how a conversation should resolve. How a conversation should resolve is John, the bowling ball again, comes up to me and he tells me that I've been blowing him off and it makes him feel really disheartened. I could tell him that I understand that it's making him incredibly disheartened and that I should show up more and apologize for my actions. When I apologize and show up and continue on my word, I am active listening and I understand his feelings, and I was able to more effectively get my point across. By more effectively getting my point across and more effectively solving the conundrum, John, or our bowling ball friend, which is my visual aid, has felt his problem was solved, and we left the conversation with more of a resolution than we would have any other way. Another way to active listen would be to watch somebody's body language. If I sit there and I notice someone's very uncomfortable with the conversation we're having, let's say I'm talking to John about his political beliefs, and I'm disheartened, or I'm a little disheartened about the way he believes, and I am pushing against his beliefs, and I'm talking quite negatively of him, and I notice his body language, and I act on it, and I stop the conversation to make John feel more comfortable. It is active listening and a good communicative way to not really speak, but in a way speak to somebody and get across your point, as well as acknowledging somebody else's point and effectively ending the conversation in a more resolved, complete way. Anyway, thank you for listening, and that was the end of my